Hello friends and welcome. Thank you for joining me for this short but hopefully effective yoga practice. So I have been under the weather myself lately. Right after a vacation, a nasty sinus infection took me down, which you can probably still hear a little bit of. And I really haven't moved much for the last 3 days. I've been pretty horizontal. And I feel like today was the first day where I actually felt like putting some normal clothes on. I ran a small errand and I realized that the one very important key element missing from my day as part of recovery is moving my body. So we've all been there, we've all been under the weather, we've all been sick. I hope this practice serves you well in that capacity. It also would work well just as a short practice when you're, low energy. But just some important things to keep in mind. First of all, acknowledge your efforts for even making it to the yoga mat. And, be sure to really listen. I know yoga is the art of listening to yourself, to your body, but especially as you're recovering from an illness, right? You're still not at 100%. I'm still not at 100%. So this is not a energetic, this is not a challenging practice. Today is not the day to be pushing ourselves, pushing our limits, pushing our comfort zone. Today is the day to keep it more on the side of ease and less on the side of effort. And if you get into this practice and you start to feel exhausted, stop the video and go rest, okay? So join me, do what you can. Maybe you can get through the whole practice today. If not, that is the beautiful thing about a video. You can always do it another day when you have more energy and are fully healed. So we are going to begin in Shavasana position, which is flat on our backs, which maybe seems a little odd considering that, as I just said, I've been horizontal for the last 3 days, but this is more of an intentional, starting posture for our practice. It's more than just laying in our beds. So the first thing I want you to do is just kind of wiggle around. Notice all the points of your body that are touching the mat. And let out, deflate, let out that breath. And as you do so, maybe your eyes naturally close. My arms are just relaxed at my sides with the palms facing up. And in this position, traditionally, the fingers kind of curl in towards the palms. Everything is unengaged here. And maybe you let your head roll gently from left to right a few times. I'm feeling pretty stiff. So this feels good, just small movements. And then whatever side you happen to roll to next, just let it rest there, kind of like you're bringing your chin towards your shoulder, but don't hike your shoulder up off the mat. Keep everything relaxed. And breathe in deeply. Roll the head through center. And let it roll to the other side. Happens to be my left side, so chin going towards the shoulder, but we're not hiking the shoulder up. And breathe deeply. And roll the head back to center. Okay, with arms down by your sides, I want you to pretend you've got something heavy in your palms and that your arms are being pulled down extra strong. So you have to work a little harder to lift them. So as we do this, we're also gently, key word today, very gently pushing the low back down into the mat. This is just to engage your core and to keep your back from arching and letting your low back take this action. So we're lifting the arms. Maybe you can pretend like you're lifting a heavy bar all the way up, and then about halfway you can flip the palms, so now you're looking at the backs of your hands and you're lowering that pretend invisible bar. Nice and slow. Enjoy that resistance. I've encountered a pillow over here. And then I want you to fully relax the arms overhead. So we're kind of in this little starfish shape. And I want you to take another deep breath, and I want you to sigh out that exhale. And one more time, we're going to press the low back into the mat and inhale, lift the arms like we're lifting that super heavy bar up, 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 up. And then flip the palms, looking at the palms now, lowering, 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 lowering. And then notice as soon as the backs of your hands touch down, little kiss down there on the mat. We're going to repeat. Inhale, lift, lift, lift. Bringing some extra gentle mindfulness to our movements. Exhale, lower, 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 lower. And then notice again when your hands touch down. And then this time give yourself a giant, great big stretch through the left side of your body. So pointing the left toes, reaching through the tips of your left fingers. Release that. Inhale, stretch through the right side, fingertips stretching, toes stretching. And then both sides, interlace fingers, that might help. And just reach. And then relax. Good. You can just let the arms come back down to your sides any which way. And bend your knees, feet flat. Pick up your hips, scoop, so that when you set your back down, it's nice and flush with your mat. Shoulders still relaxing, and I apologize for my sniffles. I should have brought tissues to keep by my side. I'd hoped it wouldn't be an issue today. Alas, the wireless mic picks up every little weird bodily sound, so I apologize. All right, let's get a little spinal twist in. So we're gonna pick the hips up slightly, set them over to the left side of the mat, walk your feet to the left side of the mat, and let your knees go to the right. And then the right hand can come to the tops of your legs to help keep them grounded. Meanwhile, your left arm swims out long to the left, and the neck rolls to the left. And you can adjust here. Little micro adjustments as you need to deepen the twist if that feels good for you. Remember to breathe. Breathe as best you can. If you're dealing with a sinus issue like me today, you know, maybe your breaths aren't super deep, that's okay. We gotta work with the body we have at the moment. Good, let's switch sides. So bringing everything back to center. Good, hips move to the right, feet move to the right, knees float to the left, and I have a wall here, so I can't extend my right arm, but you can hopefully, while looking over your right arm. I like to sometimes modify this stretch by extending my top leg straighter. This feels nice for me today. Maybe it will for you. Maybe you want to stay right where we were. Good. Inhale. Bring it all back. Hips to center, feet flat, shoulders relaxed. Refocus your eyes. Find that little interesting spot on your ceiling. Breathe. Good. Recline pigeon. Crossing right ankle over left knee. Gathering your fingers together behind the left thigh, the left hamstring, and gently guiding the hips, guiding the legs in towards the upper body. And maybe you've got the flexibility, the wherewithal to extend the left leg up into the air. This can deepen the stretch, right? So this feels really nice for me. Just remember all of our, body proportions, body, leg lengths, arm lengths, everything, our illnesses, whatever is plaguing us today, everything can affect, how your body feels in each particular pose. So if you're a person with open hips and normally you can go really deep in this pose, but today it feels extra miserable, don't push it. Especially, again, if you're like me and have been sort of immobile for 3 days, you've probably got a lot of fascia or connective tissue covering those muscles, making it feel extra tight. So be gentle. All right, let's bring this reclined pigeon on this side down and switch sides. Make that figure 4 shape. Don't forget to flex that foot, the foot that's crossed over, and coming into it on the second side, breathing. Relishing that stretch. Giving your body something positive here in the midst of whatever you're dealing with. Good. Let's start to exhale and unwind. Bringing both feet back to the mat, knees bent. Again, making sure everything is nice and even with the mat. Palms are down. Go ahead and push your upper body down into the mat. So I should have said arms, pushing your arms down. We're going to do 3 gentle bridge lifts. So on your inhale, curl your tailbone, lift your hips. Come all the way up. Remember, give yourself permission to be more ease, less effort here. Good. Exhale and start to lower down. Feel the vertebrae tracking right along the mat as you lower down, letting the tailbone uncurl, last thing. And again, inhale, starting with the tailbone, and we lift, lift, lift. And one extra little push at the top, exhale, release. And uncurl tailbone. Last one, inhale, lift. Good, give the arms a nice push against the mat. And exhale, release. Great. Coming back down. Relaxing. And sort of wiggling the hips here. Another thing I like to do is to pick up the feet off the mat and place your hands on top of your kneecaps, cross at your ankles, and steer. Steer your knees, which is essentially steering your low back in a nice little circle against the mat, giving ourselves a back rub. So what do you say we get out of this horizontal position and come up? So you can roll to the right side of your body and push yourself up like we do at the end of class, or if you're feeling a little peppy, you can rock on up, scoot back on your mat, come forward into table. And maybe you feel a little blood rush here, the body's just not at 100%, so just be on the lookout for those little sensations. Your body is recovering My body is feeling a little slow today, but this feels good to kind of wag the hips from side to side, but we do it with control. That side spinal flexion, for some reason, feels particularly nice today. Maybe it's because, again, I've been horizontal for so many days and a nice twist feels good. Okay, so let's come back to steady table. Knees are right under hips, palms flat. And of course, we're going to come through a couple rounds of our cat-cow, quintessential spinal warm-up. However, as you know, you've been practicing with me for a while. Cat-cow is a lot more than just for the spine. So see if you can notice where else you feel it today. All right, inhale, pull the belly down, look up, broaden across your collarbones. Exhale, round the spine, look back towards your navel. And repeat, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Or round, I'm sorry, not lower. And I think I'm going to hold this next cat stretch because it feels really nice to round the spine. We hold and we breathe. You don't have to hold it. Good. All right, let's release out of cat-cow back to neutral table. Go ahead and pick up those toes off the mat. Give the ankles a little rotation one way and the other. And then point, flex, point, flex. So if you're super close to the top edge of your mat, go ahead and scoot back a little and then walk the hands forward. We're going to lower our bodies down to the belly with the knees supporting us here. So still good form though, right? Being ill doesn't mean we get to just, flop to the belly. Be mindful here. Just go slow. Squeeze the elbows in. Good. Come all the way down. I want you to reach the arms out in front of you. Reach the legs long. So it's helpful to come up to your toes for a minute and kind of see if you can clear your thighs off of the floor. And then reach the body long, lift up. It's kind of a little Superman, Shavasana, that sort of thing. Locust pose. I'm not really trying to hold it for any time period, just giving our body a full body stretch. And then I want you to come back to Sphinx, or come to Sphinx rather. So we're coming up to forearms, giving ourselves plenty of time here to adjust. Legs are sort of just a natural, comfortable distance behind you. Elbows are situated right under your shoulder. Palms flat. The last little cherry on top of this pose is to pretend that you're going to pull yourself forward, and when you do so, you feel a lovely stretch in your abdomen and in your back. So this is a back bend. And this is a nice gentle way to get your back bend in for the day. For some of us, this pose can feel a little wah-wah, a little boring. And I would say, well, that is where your yoga begins, meaning that if you feel like you're not getting a lot of physical benefit out of a posture, then you should still work on that pose, but work on a different aspect of it, and for example, working on your breathing. Because whether you feel like you're getting a benefit, you are getting the benefit. So maybe close the eyes and let this be meditative for you. Remember, we're going at half speed today. Awesome. All right, let's change this pose slightly and turn it into a twist. I love this little pose. I don't know that if it's a proper yoga posture or not, but I do it all the time. Feels good, so let's do it. It's Sphinx Pose with a twist. So we're going to take the left forearm to the diagonal. I come up on my right spider fingers And we inhale and just glance gently over the right shoulder, kind of casting your eyes back towards your legs. Or you can just look to whatever's in front of you, or to the side of you, I should say. If you feel like you're crushing your fingers here, you might need to put more weight in your left forearm. Good. As you exhale, just slowly coming out, switch sides. More weight into the right forearm. Inhale, gently press the left fingertips down into the mat as you twist and look over your left shoulder. And breathe. Good. Exhale and slowly unwind. So you can bend the knees here and just give yourself a little windshield wiper action. I can't go very far because I'm really close to my wall today. But you can take it as deeply as you need to from side to side, just kind of rocking the hips. It feels great for the spine. Okay. So hopefully you're feeling all right. This hasn't been anything too intense for you today. We're going to make our way off our bellies and come into downward facing dog, our first inversion, our first down dog of the day. So take your time. All right, let's come up. First of all, come back through tabletop, see how you feel. Take a breath, and then let's set up for our down dog. Palms flat, fingers wide, toes curled, and the hips lift and shift backwards. My calves, I've noticed, especially today, just walking around, were really tight. So I really recommend a slow, intentional pedaling of the feet. Each time that you lower that heel, feel that nice elongation along the back side of your leg. And then maybe you can get a little faster, or maybe not. And I feel like my sinuses are now 100 times worse than I'm upside down now, so I apologize. So let's see let's see if we can take it into a slightly different downward dog shape. So lifting the left leg into the air. See if you can stretch that leg up. Ooh, there's my wall. Bend at the knee, open the hip, and then extend the leg out. Bring the left leg down. Let's do the same thing for the right. Lift as high as you comfortably can. Bend the knee. Good. Coming back. Setting it down. Beautiful. We're going to look forward and walk forward. Taking our time. Separating the feet a little wider, letting ourselves enjoy a deep forward fold here, taking opposite elbows and letting the head and neck hang. So this is less of a proper uttanasana and more of just a spinal decompression. Again, this position feels really delightful. After laying in bed for so many days, this feels so nice to have the blood flow reversed to the head. So I just have the slightest little sway going on here. You're welcome to add that to your fold. You're welcome to gently nod the head, shake the head. Take a deep breath. Deflate. Awesome. Release your elbows. Press your palms into your shins. Lift halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Walk the feet a little closer together. So we're lifting up into this number 7 shape. Long spine, long neck. We're just breathing here, hanging out. Legs maybe are a little straighter than we had them in the fold. We're going to slide up to standing. And fix, as I like to say, fix all the things that need fixing. Let our blood pressure equalize here, and I'm going to turn to face you, and we're going to do some very, hopefully, easeful standing postures. Nothing too challenging. So we're going to start by bringing the feet and legs together, and just taking note of our feet. You can pick up the toes, spread them wide, come up and give yourself couple little lifts here, if that helps kind of strengthen your legs. So in the Bikram system of yoga, as you might know it as hot yoga, their half moon pose is completely different than the Hatha yoga system of half moon. I'm not going to say it's any easier. It still poses its challenge, but it is a wonderful side bend. So it's a great way to get some side spinal flexion. So we're going to attempt to do that pose first here as our first standing posture. So we're going to inhale and lift the arms all the way up, and I'm going to get cut off, but that's okay. You can use your imagination. So what I'm doing is interlacing all of my fingers except my index. Index comes out and they point together. So I'm pointing up towards the ceiling, and I'm really kind of squeezing the side of my head with my biceps. So this is the Bikram half moon. So we lift up and we bend to the right. So we're sticking our hips to the left, and not only are we bending, but we're rotating the torso towards the left. So this is Bikram's half moon. Feels really nice. You really got to firm up those legs. Breathe. We're not trying to bend in half and do 100% here. Good. Inhale, come to center, relax the arms. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the arms again. Same hand position as before. Inhale, lift and gently squeeze the side of your head with your biceps. Exhale, lean left. So you're sticking your hips to the right. Reaching the arms still. Twisting the torso more towards the front. Good. Inhale. And exhale, arms down. Good. I think that one felt pretty good. Anything that is sort of emphasizing spinal movement in this practice is feeling pretty good. So we're going to take a very slight back bend here. Same idea as before. We're just going to lift the arms, interlace fingers. You can point your index if you want. Lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, just lean back a little. Lean back a little. Look up. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Exhale. Reach out long as you reach forward, coming back into a forward fold. Separate your feet. Come back into that nice, deep, luxurious forward fold. Take elbows if you wish. Come back to your gentle sway. Lovely. Good. Again, we're going to press palms into shins, lift halfway, and then come all the way back to standing. I'm going to turn to face you again. We're going to set up for Warrior Two. That's going to be our last standing pose, and we're going to get down to the floor and do a few more things that are going to feel nice and restorative, and then we're done for the day. So we're going to walk our feet wide, toes forward to start. Sort of find a nice, easeful resting position here. Just take a breath. And then turn that right leg all the way to the right. And those left toes turn in a bit. Still keeping the legs kind of grounding and pushing out in separate directions so your legs stay strong as the arms also go out in opposing directions. Nice and strong at a T. Exhale, bend your right knee, and then I want you to straighten the leg again. Bend the right knee, straighten the leg. You can keep looking over your right arm the whole time. Good, we're just kind of warming up that hip. Bend, straighten, and this time bend and hold for Veer Bhadrasana B. So just keep breathing here. We got to build our strength back up. Inhale, come up into reverse warrior, another lovely back bend. Back to warrior two. Inhale, you can rest the arms as we pivot the legs to the other side. Setting up with the left leg to the left, right toes slightly in. Lifting the left arm, both arms rather. Making sure you lift your chest here. It's one of the areas in this pose that is easy to forget. We kind of collapse in, keep lifting out here. And let's give this knee a little bend and straighten. Bend. Good. Bend, straighten. Last time, let's bend and hold. Breathe. Inhale, gentle lift, reverse warrior. You might hear some nice snaps and crackles and pops. Welcome that. Inhale, relax, good. Bring the feet together. And then just however you like to get down to the floor. Sometimes we take some salutation, sometimes we come into squat. Just however feels good. Come on down. Okay, we're going to come into a modified forward fold. So again, if you have been like me and horizontal for several days, your hamstrings have probably gotten a little tight, maybe tighter than normal. So we're going to ease into this forward fold. So I want you to deeply bend your knees here, bring your toes off the mat and dig your heels in. So we're bringing our torso towards our thighs. You can either take your feet here or wrap your arms around your thighs and pull back. So whatever you're grasping, thighs or feet, pull back as the heels are digging in, and you're going to feel a tremendous, lovely stretch for your spine. The spine is obviously rounding here. You might notice as you breathe and work in this pose that your hamstrings open and your feet start to scoot away from you, legs start to straighten. All right, maybe that's where you want to go today. Or maybe you want to stay in this nice little scrunched up position. Both are correct, both are beneficial for the body. What's most important, no matter what shape you take, is that you're breathing. You're paying attention to the stretch in the body. Good. So wherever you are, let's inhale. Exhale, come out of it. Do whatever little sort of movements you like to do, rotating ankles, scrunching toes. And then we're going to come into a supported wide leg forward bend. And I just realized that I forgot to grab one of my blocks. However, we can make do without it. If you do have it, I would recommend having it right here in front of you. And actually, I'll just use one of my little pillows. That'll work just fine. And if that's what you have, grab that. So our wide leg forward bend, remember, wide legs doesn't mean as wide as humanly possible. What we want is integrity in the legs so that the toes and knees stay facing the ceiling. So at any time you feel the legs kind of droop in and out, try to bring them back into alignment. All right. So the goal here, might need to scoot your pillow out away from you a little bit more, is to first guide yourself using your little piano fingers here into a very, very slight forward fold. So when I mean slight, I mean when you start to feel the stretch into the inner thigh, that's a good place to stop the stretch and start the breathing. And then, so you've noticed that my prop is really far away from my head. So a lot of things we could do here is to prop. If your pillow is supportive enough, right? This is where you got to get creative with your own yoga practice and what you have in your house. The foam block would be better here, 2 foam blocks, but this pillow is working. Or you can come down to forearms and support yourself. Your body is a pretty good prop. And take a breath. We really are truly trying to relax here. So head and neck is relaxed. And even if the forward fold, right, even if that is too much for you today, sitting in this position with the legs at attention and just breathing is also very restorative for the body. So just a reminder that, you don't have to go very deep into a pose to reap the benefits. Keep that in mind. So and I'm just going to sit here I'm going to take my own suggestion and just sit here and breathe and let this be enough. Keep breathing. So if you are forward on your pillow or your block or whatever, take an inhale and start to come out of the pose and meet me back here with your tall spine. And we're going to keep this same general position. We're going to do a little side bend. So right foot is coming in, and we're going to plant it right on the inside of the thigh. Left leg stays exactly where it is. Left hand is going to hold right ankle. Left elbow is going to lean on the straight leg. Now already I feel a really nice stretch in my low back here, so this might be where you want to stop in this pose today. You can take it a little more into a twist. You can add the arm. These are all optional, and if you know the final full expression of what pose we're doing, I'm going to let you go a little deeper. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to enjoy my little bitty baby side bend here and breathe into my back. And then on the inhale, we're going to come up and we're going to keep this position and get a little wild thing stretch if you've got the energy to do it. So right palm will plant right behind your right glute. Left arm is going to sweep up as you lift. You don't have to go far. You don't have to do it at all. Good. Up, and on an exhale, down. Awesome. Right leg back out. Left leg in. Plant that foot there. Good. Right hand is taking the bent leg's ankle. And as you notice that a couple things happen at the same time here, as the right elbow goes to lean on our thigh shelf, our body twists, so we're already getting the nice back stretch. So make sure that right leg hasn't gone to sleep on you. Keep it at attention. And then again, you can really work on twisting. If you're energetic today, you can add the arm over, or you can take that final expression coming all the way down to grab that other foot. Or staying here with me. One thing to notice here, if your left sit bone has left the mat, grounded, both sit bones should be equally grounded here. And so in that way, we allow the spine to take the action instead of, I don't know what happens here. We just kind of let gravity pull us down. Good. Inhale, come up, plant that left hand behind your glute. Inhale, push off. Wild thing, exhale. Maybe we should call it tame thing today since we're taking it down a notch. All right, we are quickly heading towards Shavasana. So let's get a gentle seated twist, and I want you to find a easy, comfortable, cross-legged position, just crisscross applesauce. It doesn't have to be fancy lotus, all right? So what I want you to find, though, is a tall spine, elongated spine. Going to take left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Use those connection points as leverage as you twist and look over your right shoulder. Or maybe you're just sort of looking, to the side. Breathe. And as you breathe in next inhale, I want you to release your head only, look forward, and then exhale, release everything else. Happy spine coming out of that twist, nice and gentle. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release your shoulders and the rest of the twist. Wonderful. Since we're here, let's give ourselves a couple shoulder shrugs backwards and forwards. And then a little stress squeeze here, right? So I call it that because when our shoulders come up towards our ears, this feels like what we do when we're stressed, right? So let's do it on purpose. Squeeze. And then on the exhale, we just drop the shoulders and release. Inhale, squeeze. You can even squeeze the face, squeeze the hands. Release. Last time. Squeeze it all up. And then relax. And then kind of just move the neck kind of willy-nilly, not whipping it around, but intentionally here, just sort of stretching out the neck, taking the chin over from shoulder to shoulder. You can make some circles here, like you're drawing circles with your nose. Biggest circles, small circles. And then maybe looking down and looking up. Looking down, looking up, and looking over each shoulder. And maybe taking ear to shoulder. Oh, and maybe a nice deep breath just finds its way out of you. Wonderful. All right, guys. Back to our Shavasana position. And actually, if you do have your block or pillow, or if you can go grab something that's nearby, something this size, maybe a little bigger would be helpful. Have it long ways on your mat. Put it right up to your low back, the short edge of it, and I want you to lay down over it. This pillow is very soft, so I'm getting a very gentle heart opener here, but I want us to all do a reclined fish pose, reclined Matsyasana. This is a lovely heart opener. This is a good chest opener, so this is good emotionally speaking for your heart, but physically speaking, also good, especially if you've got chest congestion going on like moi. Whew, this just allows a natural opening without any stress on the body because you've got that pillow or whatever underneath you supporting you. So the back of the head is off of the pillow or whatever you're using. The spine is fully supported. Arms are resting down by your sides. Feet are flopped open, but you might prefer a reclined Baddha Konasana. I don't really like that shape for my body, so I don't do it. If it feels good for you, though, I want you to do it. What I'd like for you to do is to take a breath, though. Deflate, relax those shoulders. Let the shoulders hang off that prop. And enjoy the heart opener here. Enjoy being able to breathe deeply in this position. Sort of imagine the collarbones stretching broad. Tension melting off the body. Remember to stretch the mouth out wide. You can wiggle the jaw and swallow to relax your tongue and soften all those facial muscles. Make sure the jaw is unclenched. So you can rest here in this reclined fish pose for upwards of 5 minutes. It is a very good restorative posture when you're not feeling well. If you're starting to feel like your body's getting a little fatigued from being in that position, that's a sign to just remove your prop, lay flat, and come into Shavasana. So I'm going to let you do that on your own time. Stay in your reclined fish pose and then transition to final relaxation at any point that you are ready. Remember to give yourself plenty of time to rest in Shavasana. It's where you really rest and recoup your energy, is when you truly allow your body to rest. And so things that help that process are staying warm, so covering up with a blanket or a sweater, putting something over your eyes, putting on socks, and really focusing in on the breath, staying still, warm, and comfortable, turning off the lights if that's possible. So I wish you well, my friends. If you have been feeling under the weather like me, I truly hope for a speedy recovery for you. I hope this video has served you well. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.